India is less than 3 weeks away from its general election. The political battle is heating up. And at the center of the storm is the strategic island of Katchatheevu. On Sunday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi accused the opposition Congress party of weakening India's unity, integrity and interests. He said the Congress callously gave the island away and that the party should never be trusted. The next day, he also blamed the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam or the DMK party for failing to safeguard the interests of the southern state of Tamil Nadu.
I do not like matters like this pending indefinitely.
Doubling down on the Prime Minister's charge, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said the dispute surrounding the island has been a matter of debate in the Indian Parliament for years. He said India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru himself, wanted to give the island away.
To Pandit Nehru, this was a little island. It had no importance. He saw it as a nuisance. Why are people bringing it up again and again in Parliament? So, for him, the sooner you give it away, the better. Actually, this was not just Pandit Nehru's view. This view continued on to Indira Gandhi ji as well. The Prime Minister is said to have remarked in the AICC meeting that this is a little rock. Whether it was Pandit Nehru or whether it was Indira Gandhi, this very dismissive attitude, this little rock, this small island of no importance, this was the historic Congress attitude towards Katchatheevu.
Both the Congress and the DMK have denied the claims. These claims and counterclaims from the opposition have triggered a fierce debate.
Why did Mrs. Indira Gandhi acknowledge that it belonged to Sri Lanka? Why? Because there are millions of Tamils, actually 6 lakh Tamils, who were suffering in Sri Lanka. They had to come to India as refugees and settle here. As a result of this settlement, 6 lakh Tamils came to India. They have lived in this country for the last 50 years. Their families are here. They enjoy freedom and they are breathing free air with all the human rights which a person should have.
If the BJP thinks that it can derive electoral dividend by raking up that issue, by giving some documents that this secretary opined, this gentleman opined, for all that we know, how can we understand the authenticity of those documents? There is absolutely nothing. The question is this. You say it is the Congress. Yes, the Congress did it. It was an historical wrong. People voted them out of power in 2014. In the last 10 years, you were here in power. What have you done? Why the BJP is evading this question?
Prime Minister Modi's claims followed a right to information report that revealed the decision of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi to hand over the strategic island of Katchatheevu to Sri Lanka in 1974. PM Modi also linked this deal to repeated arrests of Indian fishermen by Sri Lanka. So what is the Katchatheevu island? Why is it strategic? And what is the dispute? Let's dive right in. Katchatheevu, meaning barren island in Tamil, is a 285-acre isle in the Park Strait between India and Sri Lanka. The small stretch of land was formed by a 14th century volcanic eruption. It's about 30 kilometers northeast of India's Rameshwaram and about 60 kilometers southwest of mainland Sri Lanka's Jaffna. The island has remained uninhabited. It doesn't even have a single drop of drinking water. The only structure on the island is a Catholic church dedicated to Saint Anthony. Pilgrims from both countries visit the island every year at the end of March for service. In the early medieval period, the island was controlled by the Jaffna Kingdom of Sri Lanka. The control was passed to the Raja of Ramnath Zamindari in the 17th century. When the Zamindari system was abolished under the British rule, Katchatheevu became a part of the Madras Presidency. Traditionally, the island was frequented by Indian fishermen who used it as a staging post to dry their nets and their catch. But in 1921, both India and Sri Lanka, at the time British colonies, claimed the island to determine fishing boundaries. This dispute remained unsettled until 1974. The then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi then attempted to settle the maritime dispute. The settlement was called the Indo-Sri Lankan Maritime Agreement. Under this, Indira Gandhi agreed to cede Katchatheevu to Sri Lanka. Why? She thought giving up India's claim on the island would deepen its ties with its southern neighbour. For India, the dispute has not just been an issue of foreign policy, but also a domestic challenge. Over the years, successful Tamil Nadu governments have rejected the 1974 agreement, including the current DMK government. However, in his latest attack, Prime Minister Modi said the DMK and the Congress were both responsible for giving away the island. An RTI reply also revealed that the then Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and DMK patriarch M. Karunanidhi was taken into confidence by Indira Gandhi and had given his nod to the deal. Another reason why the Indira Gandhi government ceded the island was because it thought Katchatheevu had little strategic value. So they didn't even consider ironing out one of the most important aspects, the issue of fishing rights. As per the agreement, Indian fishermen were still allowed to access Katchatheevu, but Sri Lanka interpreted Indian fishermen's rights of access to be limited to rest, drying nets and visiting the Catholic shrine. But control over the strategic piece of land would have expanded India's territorial waters today. It would have given Indian fishermen more area to fish in. Another agreement in 1976 barred either country from fishing in the other's exclusive economic zone. Katchatheevu was at the edge of EEZs of either country, so it retained uncertainty with regards to fishing rights. From 1983 to 2009, Sri Lanka witnessed a bloody civil war. But once that ended, Colombo quickly beefed up its maritime defences, and the focus shifted to Indian fishermen in the region. Till date, the Sri Lankan Navy routinely arrests Indian fishermen. There have also been allegations of torture and death. These incidents have time and again revived the demand for Katchatheevu. Come 2024, the question of who gave up the island is hot again, and the blame game before the 2024 Lok Sabha election has just begun.